It was an ordinary afternoon at the local grocery store when Sarah, a cashier, was ringing up a customer's items. She had worked at the same store for years, always doing her best to keep a smile, no matter how tiring the day was. But today, things were different. A customer, frustrated by the long lines, began raising his voice. "Hurry up! What's taking so long?" he yelled, slamming his items down onto the counter. Sarah, who was doing her best to manage the register and keep up with the line, flinched at his words. She apologized, trying to maintain her calm, but the man wasn't having it. "You're slow and useless," he spat, causing others in line to look uncomfortable. Just then, a figure stepped forward from the crowd, someone who had been quietly observing. It was none other than Keanu Reeves, dressed casually in a jacket and jeans. Without hesitation, he walked toward the man, his calm presence cutting through the tension. "Hey, that's enough," Keanu said, his voice firm but kind. The man turned to him, surprised. "What are you going to do about it?" Keanu looked him in the eyes. "I'm going to stand up for her," he said simply. Sarah's eyes widened in disbelief. She had never expected this, especially not from a celebrity. Keanu stood beside her, a shield between her and the angry customer. "No one should be treated like that," he added, turning to Sarah with a reassuring smile. "You're doing a great job." Max, the store manager, rushed over, trying to defuse the situation, but Keanu's words had already shifted the energy in the store. Sarah, overwhelmed with gratitude, felt her eyes well up. "Where are you watching this from? Are you as amazed as Sarah by the kindness Keanu just showed? Stay tuned, because this story is about to take an unexpected turn." As the man who had been causing the scene stood there, stunned by Keanu's intervention, Sarah found herself still in shock. She had worked countless hours in that grocery store, dealing with difficult customers and long shifts, but never had anyone stood up for her like that. Keanu, noticing her surprise, turned to her with a gentle smile. "You know," he said, "sometimes it just takes one person to make things right. People don't always understand the pressure you're under." Sarah nodded, still unable to speak, her heart racing. The man, who had been so cruel just moments before, muttered something under his breath and walked off in embarrassment. The atmosphere in the store shifted. What had been tense and uncomfortable was now lighter, almost peaceful. Keanu turned to Max, the manager, and offered a hand. "I hope you know your staff is doing great work here," he said warmly. Max, who had been caught in the chaos, looked at Keanu, a little in awe. "Thank you for stepping in. I don't think any of us expected that." Keanu smiled. "It's the little things. Sometimes a kind word or an action can mean more than we know." As he turned to leave, he paused and glanced back at Sarah, who was still standing at her register, processing everything that had just happened. "Take care of yourself," Keanu said, and with that, he was gone. Sarah stood there for a moment, stunned. How often do we miss the power of small acts of kindness? The story doesn't end here, though. Keanu's visit sparked something much bigger. Days passed, and the store buzzed with talk of Keanu Reeves' unexpected appearance. Sarah was still trying to wrap her mind around it. She had received thank you notes from several customers who had witnessed what had happened, and even the store's management seemed to view her in a new light. But the most surprising part of it all was the unexpected support she started receiving from her co-workers. They began to check in on her more, asking how she was doing, and showing appreciation for her hard work. One evening, as Sarah was finishing her shift, she saw the store manager walking toward her. He had a slightly awkward look on his face. "Hey, Sarah," he began. "I just wanted to let you know that the owner is really impressed with how you handled everything last week. After talking to some of the regular customers who saw what happened, we've decided to promote you to assistant manager." Sarah blinked in disbelief. "Wait, what?" she asked, barely able to process the news. "Yeah," Max said with a grin. "It's a big step, and I think you've earned it." You handled that situation with more grace than I could have expected, and the feedback from everyone has been amazing." Sarah felt a sense of warmth spread through her. Keanu's simple act of kindness had not only protected her dignity, but had also changed her trajectory at the store. She couldn't help but think back to his words. It's the little things. Little things, she realized, can sometimes be life-changing. Can you remember a moment where someone's kindness changed everything for you? Hold tight, because this story is just getting more powerful. The days after Sarah's promotion were filled with a new sense of confidence and purpose. She felt appreciated, and the small things she had overlooked before, like the friendly smiles from her coworkers or the kindness of regular customers, now seemed to shine a little brighter. She often thought back to that day when Keanu had stood up for her. It was such a simple act, but it had sparked a chain reaction of positive changes. One day, a customer came to her register with a story to share. "I was in here last week, and I saw what happened with you and that rude guy," he said, smiling warmly. "It really made me think. I was having a tough day, and I almost snapped at someone in the line, but I remembered how Keanu Reeves stood up for you, and I realized kindness really does make a difference." Sarah smiled, touched by his words. She could see the impact Keanu's actions had extended beyond her. It wasn't just about the kindness he had shown her. It was about how that kindness rippled out into the world. That night, as Sarah locked up the store, she sat in the back room, reflecting on the chain of events that had unfolded. She was no longer just a cashier. She was someone who had experienced the power of kindness firsthand and had witnessed its ripple effect. How do you think kindness can change the world? You won't believe what's coming next. Weeks later, Sarah received an unexpected invitation in the mail. It was from the grocery store's parent company, and the letter stated that she had been chosen for a special recognition award for outstanding customer service and leadership. The company wanted to fly her to a prestigious event in the city, where she would be honored for her hard work and dedication. Sarah couldn't believe it. The day of the event, she found herself standing on stage, receiving applause from an audience full of professionals from around the country. As she looked out at the crowd, her mind went back to that moment in the store when Keanu had stood up for her. It felt like a lifetime ago, but in reality, it had only been a few months. Keanu's act of kindness had not only changed her career, but had also inspired her to keep showing up with a kind heart. As Sarah stood there, holding her award, she realized that sometimes the smallest gestures have the greatest impact. Keanu's simple words and actions had sparked a change in her life she never could have imagined. If you've been inspired by Sarah's journey, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on more stories like this. Because sometimes the stories that inspire us the most are the ones that remind us of the power of kindness.